What's going on, guys? Bobby with Consumer Time Capsule, back with another review for you here. And today we are finally permanently back in the capsule, Ryan. So we're very excited about that. We got new lights. I'm newly vaccinated, so things are really looking up in life. And things are also looking up for our snacking year. I guess the fiscal year of CTC starts today, February 8th, 2021. These are the first new videos that we've shot all year. And there are a lot of new interesting products hitting shelves right now. One thing that I'm especially excited about is the return of Doritos 3D's. First, we've got chili cheese nacho and spicy ranch flavors. So instead of the nacho cheesier and cooler ranch, we've got new flavors. And then just in time for the day after the Super Bowl, we've got the Lay's Game Day Chili Potato Chips. Now, typically, we'd be getting into From the Archives last, but I want to show you guys what Doritos 3Ds used to look like. Unfortunately, I don't have a bag to show you, but I do have the launch day supermarket coupon from the Sunday paper. So a few years back, I traveled to Iowa to dig through somebody's lifelong newspaper collection. Supposedly they had every newspaper of the last 30 years. I really wasn't able to find as many as he had built up, but the very first page of the very first coupon was this Doritos 3D's launch coupon from 1997. As you can see, it features prominently the nacho cheesier flavors of Doritos 3D's. And then in the coupon, the Cooler Ranch. This was actually recently featured on the Collecting Candy Twitter and Instagram page. So go check that out if you want a high resolution scan of it. But I think it's time to eat. What do you think, Ryan? So getting into the Doritos 3Ds, first up is the chili cheese nacho. It was $1.68 at Walmart in Dallas. And here's what it looks like. You know, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, it doesn't look that much like the old Doritos 3Ds. It almost looks more like Bugles to me. They're a lot smaller and they have that bugly kind of puffy texture, whereas the other ones were really like mouth-destroying, ample, giant pieces of triangular Dorito. These are a little bit less like that. So Ryan, why don't you grab a handful here? Oh, yeah. I do kind of appreciate that they went chili cheese nacho and not just nacho cheese and give us basically the same flavor that we're already used to. Boy, they sure do smell like nacho cheese Doritos, though.
Chili.
The texture is Bugles. They're just Bugles. Which is funny because Bugles aren't a Frito-Lay product.
They're a little, maybe thinner, I feel like.
They're significantly thinner. And they're more... It's more of a corn crunch than it used to be. The taste on the outside of them is fantastic. I mean, there's absolutely no argument. It's got a good amount of spice, got a good amount of cheese. I guess the chili is maybe responsible for the spice, so I'll give them that. Pretty decent altogether, but if you're really just hoping for that Doritos 3D's experience from when you were a kid, or at least from when we were kids, it's not here.
I don't remember the 3D experience.
Really, you don't? Okay,
but I like
so they're different, but I mean, it's okay. It's okay. So next up, the second flavor of the relaunch of Doritos 3Ds is Spicy Nacho. Once again, $1.68 at Walmart in Dallas. Here is what they look like. Not a bad amount of ranch coverage. I think this is going to be a good one. I think this is going to be a little bit better of a showing. I don't know what the source of this spiciness is, though. After you eat a few, you get a little bit of back-end spice, but I actually found the chili cheese nacho to be spicier than the spicy ranch, which is unusual that you would label something spicy and then make a counterpart that's not labeled spicy that's spicier.
Right. I agree.
Same critique, I would say, of the nacho cheese one. It's just more of a weird corn crunch than it used to be. I could use just a more substantial chip. It's incredibly, incredibly airy. On the bright side, it does not carve up your mouth Captain Crunch style like it used to back in the day. So that is positive, I guess. Functionally speaking, maybe that's an improvement. But nostalgically speaking, if you're looking for Doritos 3Ds to have made a full-fledged comeback, this isn't it. Last but not least, it's Lay's Game Day Chili Potato Chips. Found the big old bag for $3 at Albertsons in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Here is what they look like. It's very inconsistent in terms of which ones have a lot of coverage and which ones have a little coverage. That's a little par for the course with any Lay's flavors. Ryan, why don't you go ahead and grab some of those. It's our second chili and cheese flavor of the day, so it gives a more direct comparison. These are a salt and grease bomb. Like,
not a taste bomb.
Not a taste bomb. Lots of salt, lots of grease, not a lot of chili, not a lot of cheese, not a lot of game day. What is it? It's just a greasy, salty thing.
It's greasy.
It's a greasy, salty apparatus with which you can have a sandwich. That's about it.
I taste this more in my chest
than
I do in my mouth.
You don't want that. That's not a compliment. Boy, you want to talk about fizzling out. It's going to lead to a pretty easy capsule countdown. But first, let's get into the gimmick grade. For the gimmick grade, I think it's pretty clear which the more interesting product line turned out to be. It's the Doritos 3Ds. I like that they pretty radically redesigned the bag. Honestly, I'm a little tired of all of the kind of nostalgia comebacks. I think most folks would assume I like that. I like new products. I like new ideas. I like new flavors, new designs. The good thing is they checked that box in almost every single instance with the Doritos 3Ds. So I'm going to give the gimmick of the Doritos 3Ds as a whole 9 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a good looking bag.
Good looking bag. I'd say a better looking bag than the initial run. A little bit more interesting flavor choices than the initial run as well. So not too bad. Now the gimmick grade of Game Day Chili, I think it's a little bit more conventional of a flavor, but certainly this time of year, a logical inclusion for the Lay's potato chip line. So let's just give them a 5 out of 10, kind of right in the middle. Bag design I'm not super crazy about, so let's give it a 4 out of 10 actually. Capsule countdown for taste. I think that we probably made this one fairly obvious. The Game Day Chili is going to be last place. Third place on today's capsule countdown. Look, it's greasy, it's oily, it's salty, and that's about it. And those are not checking any of the boxes of what I'm looking for in a chili flavored potato chip. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. Third place, last place on today's capsule countdown. That leaves us down to the final two, the Doritos 3Ds. And Spicy Ranch didn't deliver so much in the spicy department. It did deliver in the ranch department, but that's about it. Texturally, I'd rather just have a regular Cool Ranch Dorito. In spice-wise, I would actually rather have the chili cheese nacho that is part of the exact same line of 3Ds. So, not terrible, not something you'll probably be disappointed in, but definitely not up to my high expectations. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Second place on today's capsule countdown. That does lead us to our winner here today. It's the chili cheese nacho flavor of Doritos 3Ds. Really well executed in terms of the powder on the outside. Now I'm going to use the winner here to kind of further clarify. It has the texture of a bugle. It doesn't taste like an old Dorito 3D, and for me that is a little bit of an issue. Just more of a crunchy, teeth-sticking corn than it's like
Definitely
a crunchy, crumbly. Yeah, it's just not the same as what it used to be. So I'm gonna top it off at 8.5 out of 10. But first place on today's capsule countdown, really solid. Come back and join us next week. I think we're gonna start getting into drinks then, and it's gonna be an exciting one because we have the apple pie Pepsi, thanks to Esteban P, in hand. And we also have both flavors of the Mountain Dew Major Melon, the original and zero sugar versions. So come back next week for that. And of course, until next time, I will miss you until I see you. Cheers.